Heading to the crack house. Heading to the crack house. Heading to the crack house.
Welcome to Minisode 35. I'm your host, Fritz, joined as always by co-host Mandaddy.
Hi.
Angela.
Hello.
Kaz.
Howdy, y'all.
Nick Spry.
Yo.
So we are Homo what?
Sapiens.
Erectus.
Sapiens. Thank you very much.
Come on, guy.
Come on, man. It's a callback.
Well,
Nick Spry.
Kaz is giving shit to Nick Spry, but actually right before Homo Sapiens is what, Nick Spry?
Homo erectus.
And before Homo erectus is what?
Homo habilis.
You are absolutely correct.
Ooh.
Mandaddy.
Wow.
Those are points.
So
Those are
many
very
points.
hard.
So many
that's
points.
2 points.
Yeah.
That's at least 2 points.
And what are the X-Men?
The Homo X-Men. Is that not
It's just
correct?
Wolverine. It's Homo superior.
Right.
Homo superior, nice. Okay, so Homo habilis, Mandaddy, means what?
Habla, habla,
This is
habla,
for double,
habla.
this is for double
Habla.
points. Is it about how they walk or?
That is incorrect.
How they live.
Does it have to do with their jaw structure? Their
How
teeth.
they, Angela.
How they live. Habitat.
They had
habilis.
Wi-Fi.
But what about that? Okay, so think of how
They
they
lived
would
out
live.
loud.
Within groups, within communities.
You're so close. Anyone else want to
They were
jump
the
in?
first ones to use tools.
That is absolutely
Yes!
correct.
I got you there.
That is true.
It was a pickle jar of knowledge, and you loosened it for me, and I was
did.
the one that popped
I
it
was
off.
the vinegar.
You actually took the pickle out. She took the whole lid off.
I pickled.
Yeah.
You marinated.
Homo habilis was the first of the great apes to use tools. For instance, sticking a piece of stick down an ant hill.
Take a piece of stick.
The termites.
Yeah.
That's why they're
The
called
termites.
Yeah. Yeah, as everyone was dumping on me, I was using it as both a noun and a verb.
Right.
But yes, they would fish out termites. And then you have Homo erectus.
Yes, but also fashioning sort of cutting tools out of stone,
Yep.
Or-
Using
Yeah, shale.
fire.
An atlatl.
kind of, what is that?
What do you remember about an atlatl? It's the thing you put your spear into, and then you throw. It's like a holster for your
nook.
spear.
That's I think that's a little bit further down the
That's
road.
probably Stone Age.
Yeah, that's not like that's like doing like the
Neanderthal.
Stone Age neti pot.
Okay, so yeah.
Kind of.
Atlas.
Only with
Just a rock.
spears.
Kaz is taking us on to the next conversation. From Homo habilis, we have Homo erectus. And that is where Mandaddy intimated that that's the first time we stood upright to kind of create this journey onto Homo sapiens. What does sapiens mean?
Self-aware, like sentient.
That's what I was going to guess.
That sounds right.
Forming constructs, social constructs.
Wise. It means
Wise.
wise.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
this is where we have
It's the mind.
humanities.
Mm-hmm.
And humanities is the study of art, religion, creative thought.
Mm-hmm.
That's what differentiates Homo sapiens from Homo erectus and Homo habilis. Recently in Georgia, and when I say recently, I mean last week, 2018, March 14th-ish, a man found on a beach a plesiosaur
Whoa.
What?
with a fresh wound.
What?
It had a small head, a long neck, two very prominent fins, and a long snake-like body.
Okay,
So
I think I
wait,
saw a picture of that.
the flesh was still intact.
It
It
was-
wasn't just like a skeletal structure.
Like
the
a s-
flesh was still
A
intact.
salt-cured plesiosaur.
Yeah.
It was still alive. You said it had a wound, right?
What
It was not alive. It was dead.
Oh, okay, it was dead,
And the wound
wounded,
was an
okay.
apparent
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
cause of death?
cause
Perhaps?
of death.
Wound.
Perhaps. I mean, there was
Big
a
wound.
lot of pink.
Okay.
There's a lot of pink coming out of it. When the man, this was Waycross, Georgia, when the man went to the local park rangers to ask about it, they said it was probably a decomposing Baskin shark offspring because they breed in the winter months. Their gestation cycle would be complete. So this might have been an aborted fetus because it was still like 4 to 5 feet long.
With the neck.
That's what I was going to ask.
And also maybe a decomposing creature. But when I saw this photo, and I can gladly pass it around, when I saw it, it looks like a blue, like a gunmetal blue gray plesiosaur.
Wow.
Here's where it gets interesting.
More
It's more
There's a
interesting.
twist.
The locals know of a dinosaur legend known as Alty, A-L-T-Y. For generations, they have talked about this Loch Ness monster looking creature that resides in this particular lake. And of course, I can give you more, details later, but it's a well-known folklore that there might be some kind of mythical creature in this lake.
Seriously.
Get out.
Yep. So if we know that it is in fact a decomposing baskin shark, where does the Homo sapiens in us stop ourselves from immediately saying it's a dinosaur? Why aren't Homo sapiens more geared to, that's got to be a decomposing baskin shark? Why do we immediately jump to Loch Ness Monster?
Second question, what is Alti short for?
Yeah, it's like an old dinosaur.
Oh, okay.
Alti dinosaur.
The
Alti the
Altisaurus.
dinosaur. Good old Alti.
The Altisaurus.
Alticiosaurus. I mean, okay, so yeah, as I look that up now, just kind of like jump in. Why do we immediately, even us, and we're all guilty of it, like as much as we want to believe, and I'm a skeptic at heart, but I do immediately want to think of something fantastical. Why is the Homo sapiens, why do we jump to the unknown first?
I think it was evolutionary, right? Like,
Why couldn't it be a plesiosaur?
in order to continue to like make sense of the world and figure out, moon cycles and weather patterns and things like that, we needed to associate patterns with chaos and weirdness happening in the world.
Sure.
And I think that that's similar to it's the phenomenon of people seeing like the man in the moon or the face or the weird structures on Mars. It's like you see chaos and then immediately your brain's like, no. Oh wait, no, it's fucking pyramids. Like there's pyramids on Mars, or that you're able to.
There's some sort of predisposed rationalization
to try to
inherently triggered in your brain.
I feel like that's what made us so successful on Earth, was that the fact that we are able to pull these patterns out of nothingness, and then sometimes they hit, right? Like sometimes it was like, oh, full moon means this, and then we can.
But sometimes those are deluding yourself.
Absolutely, exactly.
Yeah.
I think this at the same point, right? I think the structures on Mars are kind of clearly. I mean, maybe, but like it's definitely not like a dude's face.
Clearly shadowy. Right. Clearly vague.
Right.
So I just shared the photo with Mandaddy. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, it straight up looks like what you think of when you think about that creature, about a plesiosaur. And also, if you think about a Loch Ness sort of creature, there's so many different areas that have Loch Ness type stories. There's Pogo, I think is one. I mean, there's all different ones. So it's like you want to believe, basically.
Yeah, there's one cryptid photo, right, of the large tadpole-looking shadow in the water, and this is like from the 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
There's one, like a very well-known cryptid photo where you're like, this was taken on film. They didn't mess with it. It looks.
They can
really
still mess with it.
Well, how is the quality of this photo?
I mean, it's one of those just
it's
like
brilliant.
That's pretty damn
That's
clear. I'm looking at it now. That's really clear.
And tell me that I guess let's call it the top third of that thing is a decomposed head shark. It would have had to have been such a mutated or physically deformed shark to be a shark. That's not a shark.
Second question, are there photos of actual people standing next to this for scale purposes?
That is an entire video.
Uh-huh.
And also, if you were to look up, there's a raw video. It's at least, I think, a minute and a half long because different news sites will edit. But the thing that took me off guard was that is a fully formed dorsal fin.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And not dorsal because that's on the back.
The pectoral.
Pectoral fin. Thank you. It's a fully formed pectoral fin, and the mouth is extremely small. If that is decomposed, the skull is the exact same width as the neck.
Which doesn't make sense.
It
looks like if it was a shark, it was stretched through some type of Play-Doh extrusion tool or something. That's not,
extrusion tool. I love that.
Like a shark had sex with like spaghetti or something.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. That's concise way to put it.
I beseech you, comment on our Facebook page, on Twitter. Tell us what you think it is. Give us your feedback. Give us your opinions. Make it heartfelt. Make it honest. Like, don't say, "Oh, it's Beelzebub."
No. But first impression,
what?
honestly,
Beelzebub.
to me, first impression. If I hadn't seen, if there was no human next to it for reference, I would think that it looks kind of like a fishing lure, like the kind those metallic gray,
like a really cool Lovecraftian,
like a really cool, like well-made fishing lure
that looks exactly like a plesiosaur.
Yes, but I feel like a fish would be into that. It'd be like, I want to eat that dinosaur.
Yeah,
they would be horrified.
Nick Spry, what do you got for us?
So I was doing a little soul searching on the internet, and I just happened along a news story that is a current event. So I'm referring to now cruxnow.com. That's cruxnow.com. Taking the Catholic Pulse is the byline there. So it's a sort of Catholic religious website, and the article is named "The Vatican Trains Exorcists as Demonic Possession Claims Rise." And this is dated March 1st, 2018. Apparently,
They're on the rise.
I'm just going to, again, I'm going to quote here.
Holy
and
shit.
just to give you I'm pulling a paragraph here from the beginning of the article. That's just going to let you know what's going on. An exorcism course will be held at the Pontifical Athenaeum Regina Apostolorum in Rome from April 16th to the 21st. The training will focus on exorcism and the prayer of liberation, a prayer commonly used for deliverance from possession.
Oh, we're doomed.
This comes as the result of a summit that they had from the Vatican issued in February, a 4-day summit that needed to address the amount of possessions that were happening specifically in Italy because they had tripled.
Whoa.
Wow.
So they are saying approximately 500,000 people,
Holy shit.
500,000 people a year
possessed.
In the country of Italy
A
alone.
year?
Yes,
That's their
in 1 year.
GDP on exorcists?
This is like
In a year,
Italians.
in Italian, in Italy, in Italian.
That's what you said. That's even more scary.
Yes.
It's like,
She
oh my
did
God,
the
they're
hand
possessed
thing.
and they're Italian.
Italian.
Granted, with a lot of cases of possession, they have to vet all of these cases. They have to clarify and see, is it actually demonic possession, or is it perhaps some form of
Somebody
mental
just acting
illness,
up, yeah.
or someone acting up or looking for attention.
Right.
But there are over 500,000 claims every year.
So these are the claims. These are not
Yes.
the vetted exorcists.
No.
Okay.
That's like an ace.
But it was enough for the Vatican to say, we need a 4-day summit, boys. We need to figure this out.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Certification.
So the event is, quote, to offer a rich reflection and articulate it on a topic that is sometimes unspoken and controversial. And this is a quote from Father Benigno Palilla.
On the taxpayers'
Nice.
dime.
Right. And this was from that summit, February 22nd. He is a priest from Palermo, Sicily. And he is very, very highly regarded in this specific area. And he claims that the demonic rise in the population in Italy is due to people's interest in sort of occult practices, the use of Ouija boards, the use of fortune tellers, the use of tarot cards.
This goes right back to Tulpas.
Could be, but it's classically saying that, and this holds for hundreds of years in the Catholic Church, that people would open up a portal to the other side, to demons, if they would dabble in these black arts.
This sounds just like Tulpas.
Kind of.
Right? Like, of course, Tulpas are thought-formed energies.
Could be. Definitely so. But you never know. Every once in a while, a priest will run across a genuine case where they believe wholeheartedly there is a demonic possession.
I feel like this
That's
goes back
insane.
to what
That
we
is
were
insane.
talking about with the military thing. Like, how much money do you think it costs to rent out what was the name of the establishment that they're doing the
just
training mission in?
The title alone, it will be held at the Pontifical Athenaeum Regina Apostolorum in Rome.
So let's
Is that a Harry Potter book? Or
exactly.
Yeah, right?
Let's step out of that
They're
one
not
moment.
renting that. They built that. They
Exactly.
got that much money.
Step out of that one moment and say, let's say you want to get married at the Pontifical, whatever the fuck you just
The
said.
Pontifical Athenaeum Regina Apostolorum.
Okay,
How much
so-
money do you think that would cost? That would cost
All of
a
it.
lot of money, right?
All
like
the money.
in Vatican City and Italy and the fucking Pope and probably cardinals or
Fucking
whatever are
Pope.
there.
That fucking
So this-
Popo is there.
So this is this is actually in Italy,
This is in Italy, so this is
Vatican
happening
City, right?
in Rome.
Athenaeum. But why would that not be like Minervan, which was the Roman name? Why are they taking the Grecian name for that?
Well, you would have to
Are you
ask
offended?
I
the
feel like-
Vatican.
I'm a little triggered.
I feel like
She was like,
that's at least
Athena
points
was
on
the
the board.
goddess of wisdom. I don't know.
That at points.
Yeah.
Yep.
So interesting.
Odd.
So
That is odd.
that is happening this coming month,
Do you think we could go and
April
get certified?
16th to the 21st.
Yeah, is it too late to sign
I'm
up for
pretty
this?
sure you have to be a priest in training, but they were saying
I'm a
that.
minister.
He's an ordained
Yeah,
minister.
he's like halfway there.
But in the Catholic Church,
Damn it.
That's the big catch.
What's the what more do you got to know?
Basically people
Fucking
are
saints.
worried and they feel like they are understaffed in the
Exactly. I feel like this is our opportunity. We step in, we say, "Hey, look, we're interested."
But I'd be advocating for the demons.
Come on, bro, you got this. Take it over.
Just let him take you over. You're fine.
well
Let go.
Dreams,
Let go.
nothing but sweet dreams.
the Vatican itself
Can't be the bat.
has actually backed a foundation that specifically focuses on this and was established for this in 1990. And there's over 200 members on 6 continents.
Neat.
And that is the International Association of Exorcists.
Ooh.
Their conventions
that.
rock.
I was going to say,
is
that seems like
Yeah.
something we could reach out to and maybe get some contact with. I like the
Yes.
idea of that.
At least get some like press passes.
Yeah.
Show
We
up.
could do it.
Get a booth.
But that
You know the after parties are sick.
Oh my God.
Absolutely, they should be. They
Yeah,
should be
the
vile.
sacramental wine flows.
and that's what I got this week.
Awesome.
Keep your
Thank
eyes
you so
out.
much, Nick Spry. Kaz, what do you got?
So I guess similar to the theme we've been keeping of possession and control. Did you guys hear about the cyborg bugs? This is kind of slightly older. This is maybe like a year or two ago, but I figured I'd bring it up in lieu of a sort of media or movie thing that I normally do.
Are they like germinating like honeybees?
So they have a few different actual insects that they've experimented on, but basically scientists have found a way to connect electrodes and various remote controlled circuitry to insects
Why would you want to do that?
to control them. They can make them walk. They can make them go where they want to go. They can make them fly in certain
That's crazy.
directions. They can
Wow.
Remote
Control-
control living things.
a bug. They've taken over the autonomy of this thing and like made it a machine
Through
cyborg.
like electrical impulse
Correct.
manipulation?
Correct. Again, implanting. I'm quoting from a what was this Live Science article by Charles Q. Choi. By implementing electrodes into the muscles of beetles, scientists can now precisely control how cyborg insects walk, fly, and crawl about. An ability that may help these bugs carry out complicated tasks in the future.
Do my taxes, Beatles.
Gross.
Do my taxes.
This just makes me think of like Star Troopers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Starship Troopers. Yes.
Love that movie.
Starship
It's so
Troopers.
good,
Yeah.
right?
It's so creepy.
NPH shows up and he's like really good. Anyway, go ahead.
Who's MPH?
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I think you said MPH. I was like Michael Patrick Harris.
His
His
brother,
brother.
his slightly less famous brother, but still very talented.
I didn't know that. Do you think teaching numerals to bees would be hard?
Yeah, like, okay,
Probably.
so there's this many of you left. We need to get to this number.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just keep going to 0, and you're like, no,
No.
you stupid
No, man.
Please. How do you
We
not
only know the
understand
number
it?
0.
They're all like, stupid humans, there's no time left.
Zero time.
We make the honey. You idiots.
So I thought it was sort of we were talking earlier about the corful. What was the name of the fungus?
The fungus we were talking about was cordyceps. I think it's called the entire like taxonomy is the cordyceps, but the specific thing that we were talking about that branches back to the amazing video game. You should play it if you haven't. The Last of Us.
Ugh,
So good.
The cordyceps.
heart wrenching.
Right.
The cordyceps fungus kills, I think, 60% of humanity. But what I was thinking
Whoa.
about, from what you were talking about, controlling another living thing, and you guys know about this, the emerald cockroach wasp. It will sting a cockroach, takes over the neurotoxins, and then bites off its antennas.
Right.
And then nose to nose with a hand on each antenna, it directs them back to their lair.
What?
That is so messed up in
It's-
every way.
Yeah, it uses it like Sigourney Weaver uses the power like loader in Aliens. It's like
Oh,
amazing,
yeah.
dude.
That's why I was like, you guys, please check this out. So that's kind of like where we are. We are now a parasitic
We've been a
component,
parasite for a while.
but now we have evidence.
thanks, Facebook. I mean,
Damn.
Yeah.
Topical.
Yep.
So yeah, I thought that was interesting. I thought I also read that there was apparently militarization of this technology, and
Duh.
that they wanted to create sort of almost undetectable sonar, audio receiving technology to be able to like, you just have like a weird mosquito land on your shoulder or something and follow you into a room and be like a microphone to record your
like a carrier pigeon sort of
Exactly.
scenario.
So sort of that weird, I don't want to say cyberpunk, but that weird kind of like bridging of what we already have
That
and
steampunk
kind of
sort of thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this is my bumblebee that portrays
laser beams.
16 millimeter camera films.
Exactly.
Well, don't they kind of have that in like Fifth Element with a little cockroach?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
they did.
They
Yes, did.
stole the idea from Fifth Element.
Yeah.
everything.
Everything goes back to Fifth Element.
This is really embarrassing, but I was going to make a George Lazenby joke.
I thought you were going to
that's,
say you had never seen Fifth Element.
Yeah,
I was going
so
to
did
spring
I. I was
upon
like,
you from
get
the scene.
fuck out of here.
But props to George Lazenby, the shepherd farmer that became James Bond.
I've never seen Fifth Element.
Don't you dare.
You're lying.
You're
I
lying.
have, no, I have to be honest.
Are you
never
serious?
I've never
Never
seen-
fucking
movie
seen-
night.
Oh my god, we have to stop and watch
right
this
now.
tonight.
We're gonna
Right now.
Okay, minisode's over. Full episode's over. We're going to go watch.
Are you serious?
That is on the agenda, sir.
It's
That is
so
on the
good.
agenda.
Dude.
Yes.
To answer your question, Angela, I've never seen it.
100%
Wow.
we need to
One
watch
of the
that movie
greatest
with you.
sci-fi films of all time.
Fantastic.
It's
Some of
what
the
got
best
me into
sets
sci-fi.
and, the costuming with what's his name, Jean Gaultier. Is
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
I
it
think
does
so.
all the
Jean-Paul
costumes.
Gaultier
Yeah.
did all
Yeah.
the costumes for
It's
it.
insane.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
That's at least one more point right there, too. Jean-Paul Gaultier.
For who?
Him,
Mandaddy?
this guy, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's plus
What's he
3.
up to?
That's 3 on the night
Mandaddy
already
got
in
Homo
the
habilis.
minisode.
That was an automatic
That
point.
was 2.
Yep.
Right.
Nick and Angela both have 1 point because you decided to share 1 point, and
Did I decide to share it?
No, you said
No. I co-opted your point.
you actually said as a
Boom.
compromise, at least give me half. He co-opted you, so I'm giving you both.
All right.
one.
All right.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
Mandaddy now has 2.
You guys are racking them up. So that's what I had. I thought it was interesting. The remote controlled bugs.
Absolutely.
Very, very interesting. And Angela, what have you brought to the table?
Well, I would just like to say that we lost a legend last week. Cosmologist
Oh.
Stephen Hawking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He died March 14th. He was 76 years old, and he transformed our understanding of black holes. Now, I kind of want to get into this. The mathematical theorems about Einstein's equations for gravity that showed that there were places where the equations broke down were called singularities. Inside a black hole is a singularity.
So things that don't make sense.
Correct. Initially, his work suggested that a black hole could never get smaller, that the surface area of the spherical event horizon, the point beyond which nothing can escape, could never get smaller.
Also an amazing Sam Neill film.
Oh,
Yes.
The best.
Yeah.
have you
Yeah,
seen
it's his
Nick
best.
Spry and Zero G?
I agree, Mandaddy.
Wait, better than Jurassic Park?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
All right, I'm just seeing we're all on
And they're
board.
coming out with the new one. It's like, and in this one, guess what? Dinosaurs fucking attack people. There you go.
I thought you were going to say it was a new Event Horizon. I was
No,
like,
No.
Jurassic Park. No,
Okay.
they can't do another Event Horizon. Unless it was a series
True that.
of what happened
Which
when
should
the
happen.
ship disappeared.
Oh,
Yeah. That would be really good.
There you go.
And I'm
Copyright.
just kind of going into this because I kind of want to just talk about his legacy. Similarly, the second law of thermodynamics holds that the entropy or disorder of a closed system can never go down.
Can you just briefly go over entropy again? I just want to make sure that I understand what that means.
Entropy is like a disorder,
Yeah.
like
It's
something
falling
that's
apart.
kind of wrong.
Everything is
something that's falling
eventually-
apart. Yes.
It falls apart.
falling apart.
Yeah.
Right. And also the second law of thermodynamics refers to that if with every sort of reaction that happens in the universe, a small amount of heat is lost, never to be
Correct.
gained again. So
Correct.
we're all just going to eventually freeze to death.
Correct.
Correct.
Sooner than later.
And
So
in the early
depressing.
1970s, physicist Jacob Bekenstein connected the concepts, proposing that a black hole entropy is linked to the area of its event horizon. Hawking originally was very skeptical of this idea because you can't have entropy without radiation. And it was believed that a black hole radiated no energy, hence the name black hole. But because science is never afraid to ask itself some questions, Hawking did the math that no one has ever done. He showed that if you add quantum mechanics, you do show that the black holes are not black. They actually emit radiation. This radiation comes from virtual particles, which are popping in and out of existence in the quantum realm. They do so in matter-antimatter pairs, one with positive energy and the other negative energy.
And they also emit, like they have a corona that emits X-rays because it was a couple years ago. It was the first time they ever witnessed an object coming out
Yes.
Yeah.
of a
Correct.
black hole.
Correct. So ordinarily these pairs immediately annihilate each other. But if this pair popping occurs in the boundary of a black hole's event horizon, one particle could theoretically get gobbed up while the other rocketed off into space.
Right.
If the negative energy particle were eaten, the black hole's mass would shrink by a tiny amount and the object would emit a minuscule bit of radiation. So Hawking worked out this idea in 1974, which is why this is hypothesized black hole light is known as Hawking radiation or Hawking-Bekenstein radiation.
Oh, that's badass.
Yes.
The thing I appreciate it's so like purely science in that he was skeptical of the idea initially and decided to do the math and was like, you know what? Damn, he was right. Like,
exactly.
That's very science.
I love that about science. Science is like, well, I don't believe that, but I'm still going to test that anyway.
Right. And he was so smart that he was like, damn, it's Saturday. I got nothing to do this afternoon.
Let me remap this.
Where's my slide rule at? Come on.
I'm a scientist this shit.
That's what he did.
So Stephen Hawking was turned back into stardust, aka ashes, and he'll be interred in Westminster Abbey along with Sir Isaac Newton, who was there in 1727, and Charles Darwin in 1882.
Nice.
The Dean of Westminster, the Very Reverend, which I've never heard that term before, a Very Reverend.
He's like, so very.
It's like a Game of Thrones.
He's so extra reverend.
That's who's above him is extra reverend, is right above him.
Yeah.
He has shoulder pads in his robe.
Yes. So the Very Reverend John Hall said, and I find this very interesting, we believe it to be vital that science and religion work together to seek to answer the great questions of the mystery of life and of the universe.
That is so fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
So the date of interment, they don't know what they're going to do with that yet, but there will be a private funeral service on March 31st at Great St. Mary's, the Church of the University of Cambridge, where Hawking did his graduate work.
That is amazing.
That is amazing.
If we can, I would love to end this episode with just a little small Stephen Hawking quote. His actual, his quote unquote American accent.
Which was very funny when they first developed that technology. Well, like they're immediately like, wait, you have an American voice in this.
He was even quoted as saying though that a lot of people, there's a quote of him, it's actually the him talking that said that a lot of people think it's American, a lot of people think it's Irish or Scottish, but he said that people can understand me, so what does it really matter?
Right.
Yeah, he doesn't give a damn.
Yeah.
So he says
Rosie Perez voice simulator. What you talking about? My English
know about
is
black
good.
holes. You're so stupid.
You're so stupid. I do all the math.
That's the great thing is that since he had the computer voice, you can actually change all of his quotes into any voice you want.
He was classy
just
enough
like your
to
GPS.
not do it. Exactly.
Yeah.
He was like, look, I'll just keep it. I'll keep it.
Keep
Middle
it
of the road.
classy.
Keep it
He
middle of the
changed
road
it for his
academia.
moves.
He chose war games.
Yes.
But straight Whopper.
It's incredible because he was diagnosed with ALS and he was only supposed to live like 2 years past when he was diagnosed, and he got to live to 76.
I thought he was supposed to live to the age of 20 or something.
24.
He was very young,
24?
and they didn't think he'd live that long, and he lived till 76, so that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, just
We needed him.
Fucking 76.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's really amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Thank you, Stephen Hawking.
He's much appreciated. And the fact that he was famous and a scientist, and it wasn't just because of his interaction through the voice synthesizer or anything. Everyone knew his brilliance.
Yes.
And to write the book, A Brief History of Time, which takes the most difficult concepts and makes it understandable. Still takes a few reads to really absorb all of it, but he does take things like the theory of relativity and makes it like where you're like, oh,
Yes.
He didn't allow the restrictions of the broken body to prohibit his mind from reaching us.
Absolutely.
Again, another quote he said is that theoretical physics is maybe one of the only professions where it doesn't matter if he has a debilitating physical disease.
You just get the
because
math
it's all in
out.
the mind. It's all in the mind.
Yeah.
That is incredible. Also, kudos to Westminster Abbey.
Yes.
I mean, that's amazing. Like, as you were explaining what you said, Galileo, Newton.
Darwin?
It was new
Darwin
and yeah.
and Newton.
Yes. Yep.
Oh my God. I immediately got I got the squeamin' jimmies.
Yeah, you get the little like the tingling jimmies.
I got a champagne jimmies.
The
the
whispering
champagne
jimmies.
jimmies. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, just an amazing.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Remarkable human
Angela.
being.
Yes, you're very
Amazing,
welcome. What you got for us, Mandaddy?
What I have is little heads up. Little heads up if you're planning anything for September 22nd, 21,035.
Yep, got that plan already. It's in my planner.
Well, you might
Gonna
want to
be
cancel.
dead.
Because the planet's dead. The planet's going to die.
Oh, okay, cool.
Wait a minute.
That's the day.
Let me do the math.
And
I will be 150.
we're all going to be dead. It's okay. So if you've got maybe if you're going to plan on having grandchildren, they might need to worry about it, or great grandchildren. But
That's
what it is scientists say that there's a chance that an asteroid the size of the Empire State Building may smack into Earth on that day.
Okay.
Where?
So,
Where in Earth?
well, they're not sure about that yet.
Well, okay. Empire State Building is how big?
Big, quite. I think quite is the
It's bigly.
Quite a large building.
Bigly.
It is. Well, it's New York. It's bigly,
I can't
Big
argue with
water.
that. Sign.
Embiggened.
Big building.
which is now a freaking
emboldened.
word.
That's big concrete.
But so NASA is already on it. So they're already on it, which is great when you think about NASA having plans for over 100 years.
130 years.
in
Yeah,
the
they're like,
future.
yeah, we got the
Should.
shit.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, so
Damn,
they just,
thank you, NASA.
Yeah, that's really hopeful. That's like, that gives you like the Star Trek vibe, where that's what Star Trek was so, it gave you hopes for a better future. You know?
It's almost like it's almost more tragic to think that they're actually planning this so far ahead in the future that they have to get rid of this meteor or it's going to strike the Earth.
Well, Ronald in the trajectory department has to, justify them keeping him on the payroll. He's like, look, I've got a project I'm working on in the year 2135. Look, this is important.
Ronald, 2135. Get the fuck out of here.
No, guys,
We
you
gave
need
you
me.
a
You need me.
$20,000 grant, and you're 2135.
Sadly, Bruce Willis won't be with us then. So
Right? No
I don't
Ben
know what we're gonna
Affleck.
do.
We got no Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
We got no Bruce Willis.
No Steven Tyler.
Liv Tyler's going to be like really old
No,
and
Steven
weird.
Tyler actually will be
Make a
around.
song
Yeah,
about
what
it.
are we
Yeah.
gonna
Around.
do?
And he'll look exactly the same.
Yes.
Wanna clone
Like some sort of living mummified Egyptian cat.
They're actually studying Steven Tyler. They're like, tell us more about this mamakin. Like it's an ancient.
He does kind of look like a hairless cat.
He does. He
He
really kind of does.
actually. Yeah.
It's an ancient civilization. Only Steven Tyler has seen.
So, one thing they're going to do, or plan to do, is going to launch at it a nearly 9-ton bulk impactor to push it out of the Earth's orbit, or just nuke it. Probably end up nuking it.
God bless you, spaceman.
But the giant 9-ton thing they want to send is called the Hypervelocity Asteroid Mitigation Mission for Emergency Response, or HAMMER.
Ooh.
They had to make it badass.
Yes.
That's badass.
So we're
Thank
like
you, NASA.
nuclearly like flicking it out of the way, just like bam, just like get out of here.
Yeah, nudge it.
Yeah.
Nudge it. The most
What
we
makes
can.
our planet more badass than NASA? Like, what is happening on Earth that is more cool than being
That's-
like 135 years from now, rocket's gonna fucking asteroid's gonna kill us all.
And
We got it. Deploy the hammer.
Deploy the hammer. And it does, and it says
been
in
working on it
robot
for a
voice,
while.
like, get the fuck out of here. As it hits the asteroid. Get out of here,
poop
kid.
it.
You bother me.
We're awesome.
Hammer don't hurt him. Actually, you can hurt him, Hammer. Yeah, after this time, you can finally hurt him.
At
Hammer.
this point, yeah.
We're
got
totally
carte
allowing
blanche.
Hammer to hurt whoever he wants.
Is he too legit to quit?
Oh, he always
hope
has
not.
been.
I hope not. For humanity's sake. You said this was a 9 megaton nuclear payload?
No, it's a
I'm sorry.
9-ton.
9 ton.
9-ton bulk impactor.
Do they know how big the meteor is going to be?
About the size of the Empire State Building.
So that's how
Pretty
many
big.
stories? 127?
Something like that.
So that's
Sounds about right.
1,000 something feet
There's
long?
a really cool. It's not a video game. It's kind of just like a simulation, but it's called I think it's called Universe Sandbox.
Ooh.
But I watch. There's a guy who just creates objects in this thing and shoots them at Earth, and it does kind of like realistic math onto like how much the impact would like affect the global weather structure and things like that. And so he did. The last one I just saw was a pyramid. He created like a large scale pyramid of Giza, like to scale versus the Earth.
Just whipped it at it.
And then shot it like it was an asteroid in the simulation, and it devastated the entire world.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how much bigger the Empire State Building is than the Pyramid of Giza, but it completely wrecked Earth. Like we were fucked if
dear.
something
it's
that big
an
happened.
extinction level event.
Yes,
Because
correct.
it's not just about the impact. It's about what it shoots up
concussion,
into.
exactly.
And what it
afterwards.
shoots up into the air will coat the atmosphere and creates basically a nuclear winter, blocking out all light and heat. And so we basically go into, eternal winter till we die.
Eternity.
So they say it's a 1 in 2,700 chance it'll hit us. So better start planning now.
Well, exactly. Like that's the odds, and they're still like, fuck it. Like we got this. Like we're gonna
Yeah.
deploy the hammer. We're gonna
Well,
figure
who
it
else
out.
is going to do it? You know,
NASA
Yeah.
is going to do it.
you know,
That's
until we have Superman, until he shows up to save the world.
Geniuses at NASA advancing our society.
That's a better odd than winning the Powerball, and that happens pretty much every month.
It does, doesn't it?
So,
And the fact
damn.
that you have to announce that you want it, that
Right.
states have rules, that just seems rude. Why can't
That
you
is
get
weird.
it anonymously and live your life instead of, no,
Thank
you have to
you.
let everyone know you have this, so every person you've always hated is now going to suck off your teat.
that's right.
If I won that, I would never let anybody know.
Oh, God, no.
Every once in a while, I'll just be like, I got your dinner. It's fine.
Yeah, let me pick up that tab for your house.
I got everyone's tab every night. It's fine.
Well, I believe that is the end of the Minisode. We
Yes.
thank you all so much for listening. Keep on telling all your friends to listen to us. Always check out the full episodes with the sound effects and the hey, 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 and all the fun. This is Fort Fritz. You've been listening, and you're a better person for it.
So remember to look up at the stars and not down at your feet. Try to make sense of what you see and wonder about what makes the universe exist. Be curious. And however difficult life may seem, there is always something you can do and succeed at. It matters that you don't just give up.